Dear future husband, before I begin praying for you tonight, a few thoughts have been running through my head. I thought I would share when I think about who my future husband will be. A lot of great characteristics come to mind, but something stood out the most. As I write in this journal, I've started to imagine our wedding. Not necessarily what it looks like or who's there, but the before, when I give you this book. I picture you sitting in your changing room, and this book is presented to you. Long before you're in your suit or tux or what have you, I picture you reading this. And I also picture me walking in right about now. Okay, that might be too specific, and whenever the wedding does come, I may have forgotten about this page. But what I won't forget is looking at the man I love and showing him, you, how much I've been praying for you long before we were ever together. As I think about the man I'm gonna marry and what his traits are, I ask myself, who could I see myself giving this book to? Who loves God so much that I shouldn't feel weird or silly or ashamed that I've been doing this all this time? And I pictured you, the man I will one day fall in love with, who is so on fire for God and puts Him first. The man who will sit and pray with me when I'm sad or happy, or any time for that matter. With all the pressure from society to date around, I know for certain that you're the one, and I will not settle for anything less than the one God has sent me, who I can confidently give this book to. I love you.
I love you so much.
So I've been writing in that journal since January 1st of 2017. So for the past 2.5 years almost, I've been praying for my future husband. And I've been praying for you.
Are you sure it's me?
I love you.
I love you. Well, we matched on Tinder, so kind of I was swiping on Tinder, and I saw that this super pretty girl had super liked me. And it's this thing on Tinder where it's like, if you really like somebody, you can hit super like. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl's so beautiful. She super liked me. I know, pretty good looking myself. So I hit like, and it popped up that we'd matched, and we started talking from there. I opened the conversation with a short GIF of a guy holding a rose and kind of, winking, and I think that's what sold her.
What he didn't know was when I super liked him on Tinder, I didn't mean to. I was sick and bored and swiping through Tinder purely as something to do as an investigation thing and finding out as much as I could know about someone and then kind of just moving on with it. And I accidentally clicked super like on his profile before his name or his picture popped up. And I said, oops, oh well, if I even match this random account, which I probably won't, I'll just delete it later. And sure enough, we got a match. I got a notification on my phone, and when I opened it up, I saw David and I saw his picture, and right then I knew that God was showing me, hey, look here, this is who I have for you.
We were talking about going on our first date and what to do, and I asked her how tall she was. And she said, what did you say, 5'8", right? 5'8". And in response, she was like, well, how tall are you? And I was like, well, I know I'm super short. I don't know if she could tell out of the photos. So I just told her I was tall enough to ride all the rides at Dollywood. And that kind of, I guess, sold her on that.
So I thought, what the heck? Okay, so I gave him my number and we went to a coffee shop for our first date.
I was already there. I got the coffee shop super early, and I was trying to just read it and studying and doing a lot of praying, making sure that my heart was in the right place. Because we had talked a lot before just about our faith and how important it is in our life. And man, the moment that she walked in, I just something changed in my heart and in my life, and I just knew that this girl was something extremely special. So we introduced each other, and I just immediately started out with, hey, I want you to share your testimony with me, because that's the most important thing in my life currently. And I want to know who you are and how you got to where you're at.
We spent the next 3 months seeing each other every single day. We made it very intentional that we were going to spend time together, and on the 3rd date that we hung out together, I knew wholeheartedly that I was going to marry this man. And we were sitting on my front porch, and he looked up and saw that I had a W on my door, and he was like, "Oh, you won't even have to change your initials." And then got super awkward and was like, "Oh my gosh, 3rd date, probably shouldn't have said that." I was like, "It's okay, I'm thinking it anyways."
I knew we had talked about it, and I know she was probably like dying. She's like, "Listen, bro, when are you gonna ask me to marry you?" And so I was like, "Man, I'll do it on my birthday. What better gift could I receive and have than for my best friend to tell me yes, that she would marry me."
He was definitely up to something. He was nervous talking the entire afternoon. Like, I could tell that this was probably going to happen, but at the same time I didn't know for sure. And we were talking about how much we love each other and we're going to spend the rest of our lives together, and he turned around and got on one knee and asked me to marry him, and of course I said yes. And we were walking back to our friends, and he goes, did I say everything I was supposed to? Did I even say the words, "Will you marry me?" And I was like, "Yes, love, you did."
So she went to the academy the next day, and we just started planning the wedding. She was at the academy for 9 weeks, and so we were doing everything over the phone and planning everything, and she got to come home on the weekend, so we planned the wedding around that, and that brings us to here. We're getting married in a couple hours.
Super thankful for what God is doing in our lives, and every day I say that this is all for God and all for His glory, and we know that He has planned this from the very beginning and will continue to be the main focus in our lives as we become one and glorify Him through our actions.
See what God has in hold for us and how we're going to serve Him and His kingdom together. But I'm super blessed. I'm super thankful for you putting up with me. It's already been an adventure.
I love you.
I love you too. I promise to rely on you to get all the things that I cannot reach, to organize the things that I can't, and to do the math that I can't.
I promise to always stand on the lower step of the front porch so I can give you a kiss. I promise to only be difficult and needy some of the time.
And so, by the authority vested in me by Almighty God, I now pronounce you man and wife. David, you may kiss your bride.